Alright boys, got some gnats on me. Welcome back to another video. Got a few things for you today. Well, in this episode anyway. One of them is going to show you my wife's new ride. Not the best truck, she's got a little cancer, but for what I give for it, I can't complain. She's a pretty tight truck. I am going to give you a rundown of things that I've been withholding, problems I've had with the Dodge that I have figured out and fixed. There's a lot of things I do around here that I don't really pick a camera up for, or I don't tell you. I just keep on rolling. And I've had a couple people ask me to give me a little more in-depth stuff, so here we are. Got the John Deere out. I got to check it over. I got to go bush hog my grandma, so we're going to take y'all along for that. I'm going to give you a few updates on the Cummins, and we're going to strap this old girl to a trailer and drag her around with some diesel power. So y'all stay tuned. I got a lot going on. We're going to try and get this done. And I'm going to try and find the best tree limb to hang this here camera in so y'all can see what I got going on. Y'all stay tuned. Alright boys, we done made it out to my grandma's. She didn't tell me she had that big old limb there, but we got her over here with the Dodge. We're gonna let the deer warm up, go assess the situation over here. I know it hadn't been bush hogged since the last time I did it. It's been a few months, so it looked kind of tall. Not only that, but I cleaned a bunch of this up, and it's grown pretty good too. Apparently the guy cutting the yard ain't really cutting much. Hey, he's keeping that cut though. That's okay. Yeah, this is it's pretty tall. Yeah, I'd been in here with the Bobcat, cleaned a bunch of this stuff up. This is where my grandfather's old dog pen was. He had like, I don't know, 15 coon dogs, and it'd been neglected for years. I may get in there with the bush hog and see if I can cut a little bit of it. But believe it or not, my blue tick I've got is the last remaining dog out of his entire crew he used to have. He is the last of the last of the last of my grandfather's dogs. Oh, squirrel. And I brought my chainsaw with me. I don't know if I can move this pine tree that's dead in the pasture or not. I brought the saw with me. I can try and move it with the tractor. Need to get the bobcat over here because there's actually 2 trees down. But man, this stuff got tall, and this stuff is thick. Damn, it's thick. So anyway, we'll get the tractor down in here, and I'll find a place to prop y'all up, see if you can watch me a little bit. Let's get going on this before it gets dark. It's already kind of late. Alright boys, we got all loaded back up. See the John Deere all strapped down behind the first gen. I got this bush hogged. That's what I had cleared out with the Bobcat. Got that all bush hogged up because it was pretty tall. And we'll walk down here and take a look at the pasture when I get done with it. This stuff is always thick. This pasture runs east to west, so it sees sunlight all day. Oh, it looks so much better. I still got to get them trees out of the pasture, but it's all good. But yeah, it gets sunlight all day long, and because of where it sits, it's got rainwater that drains into it here and from this side. So it's not really a low spot, but it gets plenty of water. If I had some hay equipment, this would be a good little hay field. It ain't too big, but I bet you could get 4 or 5 rolls out of this because of how thick it is. But anyway, we're gonna finish strapping this thing down, head to the house, and I'll start giving y'all some insight into what I found with the Dodge and the ups and downs of having a built motor in a first gen. So y'all stay tuned. We're gonna get back to the house. All right, boys, you'll have to excuse me. I got all my fans here. It's hot as hell outside, so let me show you. This thing's pretty accurate. It's yeah, it's hot. Anyway, so what I was going to say is, first of all, there's the old first gen. Still got the tractor behind it. I never did unload it. So I want to explain a few things that I have learned that I'd like to share, because I don't feel like it's common knowledge, because it's taken me months to figure out, because you can't seem to find anybody who knows this knowledge. So the first gen I've got, I don't know, there's probably 12,000 miles on it now. I've been keeping up with things. I've been watching a bunch of stuff. I've talked to a bunch of people. Let me give you a rundown real quick. This is a 91 model. Now, it's an early 91, so it was not intercooled from the factory. And that plays a factor in what I'm going to be talking about. Now, this is a two-wheel drive truck with a 727 automatic, which is a non-lockup 3-speed. And it's got a 308 rear end gear, a 17x9 wheel, and a 285/70/17, which comes out just over a 33 1250. So, with that being said, when I built the engine, I knew that there were some things I needed to change to get this engine into the next realm of performance. Okay, so with any engine build, you try and look for the latest and greatest, newest, updated stuff. Anyway, so with that being said, non-intercooled first gens came with a marine style piston, and a lot of 12 valve guys, and I say 12 valve, I'm talking about P pumps. Everybody loves the P pump. The 94 to 98.5 had the P pumps on it. Everybody puts a marine 370 injector. Now, that is not 370 horsepower. That is just a injector designation. Now, the problem with that is when you put a marine injector into a later 12 valve truck, it is the wrong injector. And I'm going to explain why. The marine 370s in a first gen is actually a pretty decent injector. They're still a little bit of, they're smokier than normal, and they don't make the horsepower that some of the other injectors do. But it's a decent option. Now, keep in mind, 89, 90, 91.5 had a marine style piston in it. Now, I'm going to explain that real quick, and y'all try and stay with me. If this gets too technical, you can shoot me a comment and tell me to shut up. Now, when they say marine style piston, this is a marine style piston. This is one of the stock pistons out of my engine when I took it apart. And you see it has a little bit of scuffing, but you have to remember that this motor had like 400 and something thousand miles on it, and most of this is carbon etching from carbon building up. Now, this is a marine bowl, and for those of y'all that don't know anything about diesels, diesels do not have a combustion chamber in the cylinder head unless it is a pre-chambered motor. Then the pre-chamber in the cylinder head acts as a pre-combustion chamber, but that's completely off topic. This is a marine style piston, and with the marine style piston you have a certain injector that you can run, and there is a spray angle. So if you notice, you see the clean spot here and here and here. You see where the clean spots are? The injector sprays into the bowl. Okay, so that is your spray angle. Now, this is a set of injectors. Well, these are nozzles that I had originally bought for the truck, Because when I built this engine, I specifically asked for a different piston to get away from the marine style bowl, because there are not as many nice injector options. And I'm not going to get into specifics with injector options because it'll get real deep real fast, and I'm sure some of y'all are not wearing waders and we don't need to get that deep. Anyway, so you have a certain spray angle, and if you've ever seen an injector pop test, you will know what I'm talking about. Now, this injector nozzle here, let's see if you can read it. See if it's in there. Say 12 valve. See 5x16. See the 145? The 145 is the spray angle. Now here's the problem. A marine piston is a 155. So this nozzle does not work with this piston. The engine will run, as I have proven. It runs, but not good. Because the injector, instead of hitting the inside of the bowl where it's supposed to, the combustion chamber, it sprays outside the bowl. And you end up hitting the top of the piston, the cylinder walls, and the top ring with fuel, which creates a lot of heat, a lot of smoke, and terrible power. When I ordered pistons for this engine, I ordered a 145 degree bowl, which is not the marine. It is the newer style 12 valve, which would have taken these, which is exactly why I bought them, because it thought it was the piston I was getting. Well, it took me 3.5 months to cross-reference the part number on the pistons that are in my engine just to find out they are not what I ordered from the company I ordered them from. And I should have known better, because on every engine, every Cummins engine, damn near every diesel engine, there's an ID tag on the gear case cover, on the side of the engine, whatever, that tells you everything about this engine. Well, they asked me for the serial number of the engine, and I should have known better, because that's what they sent me pistons for. I should have gotten a 145 degree spray angle pattern piston, which would have taken these injectors, and they sent me the stock bowl. Now, that's good and bad. The good thing is it now runs exceptionally better than it has in the past 10,000 miles, because I finally put a 155 degree spray pattern injector in it. Unbeknownst to me that I had been shipped the wrong pistons to begin with. So, the only problem with the 155 degree spray pattern is they are marine, so they are dirty. There's not as much, it's kind of like aircraft. Aircraft pollute all kind of shit, so does marine shit. The EPA's not quite as involved. They're getting there, but because it's in the water and it's out in the middle of the ocean, they don't care. And the emissions are completely different on marine stuff as opposed to over-the-road application. So with a 155 degree marine style bowl piston, there are very, very limited injector options because it is old technology, it is dirty, and it is not efficient. The whole reason I wanted to go with a 145 degree spray pattern was to get better injector options, a cleaner burn, more efficient, it doesn't black smoke as much, it's cooler, blah, blah, blah. So, after months and months and months of figuring this out, I was finally able to cross-reference my piston. Now, I don't have a 145 degree pattern piston to show you in reference to this because I don't have any. Everything I got's non-intercooled. My 89 model that's out there, my parts truck, the original engine in it, this is one of the pistons out of it. And that is a 145 or 155 degree spray pattern. Exact same bowl, this one's just dirty. So, I now have the correct injectors in the truck. When I finally figured out what was going on and I got a set of injectors that were correct for the piston and I had them shimmed correctly, and as far as shims goes, I'm talking about copper washer thicknesses. There are different copper washer thicknesses that go under the injector that will pull it up and out of the bowl of the piston for a much better atomization. Once I got that figured out, the truck picked up, I don't know how much horse, but it's ridiculous. The smoke is way down. The EGTs are way down. The truck cranks better. It's a whole nother ball game. Now, with it being a marine style bowl, it still is smoky because you can't get rid of it because it's not an efficient bowl. But money spent on injector nozzles that I were wrong to begin with. So I'm not going to have any video of me pulling anything because I have no way to do that because I'm a one-man show, and the only thing I can do is hold this here phone in my hand. But I can explain to you what's going on. Now, with that being said, now that I have in the correct injectors, and I have quite a bit more injector, I'm out of turbocharger. I talked to a guy the other day about it, told him what I had, what I was doing, what it was doing, how it was acting. He goes, bro, you're out of turbo. So I am currently looking at turbo options because what I have, what I thought was going to handle what I was putting together, does not. And yeah, so that's that. And in case y'all haven't seen, I did get something cool for the Bobcat. But that's my rant on injectors and spray angles and marine pistons and so on and so forth. Now, if that was too technical for y'all, you can just let me know and I'll just keep doing what I do. As far as that goes, the truck has been doing great. With the exception of this god-awful front suspension that I absolutely hate. The truck is back up in the high 20s for fuel mileage. It cranks and runs a lot better. It's much more responsive with the correct injectors in it now that I know what's wrong with it. And y'all, this has been a struggle for me. Because when I built the engine, I literally put it back the way it was supposed to be and everything was wrong. I went through having the pump rebuilt because I thought there was something wrong with it. I went through different injector nozzles. Unbeknownst to me, I kept getting the wrong ones because they're the wrong pistons. Timing changes, fueling changes, injector changes, lashed the valves differently, ran different fuel, raised and lowered my lift pump, fuel pressure. Now that we know what it is, she's on point. And there's still a little bit of playing around I have to do because through all that mess, I had grossly defueled the pump, and had taken a bunch of fuel out of it because of how hot and smoky it was getting. So, on that, them coon dogs are itching to get out, boys. I didn't show it the other day, but I did get out here and work on the wife's wreck truck. And boys, she cranks by the key. You would not know it by looking at it, but I can hook the battery up and hit the key and she cranks. Now I've got a few people looking at the truck for parts, trying to get the engine sold, trying to get transmission sold. I've got a guy who wants the tires because they're damn near brand new. There's still a few pieces and parts that are on this thing that are still good. That man is under his house barking. Anyway, so that's the deal on that. The wife's new truck is essentially the same year model and everything. It's just a 1500. This was a weird year model. It was a early 99. This truck was never optioned with the iron block 6-liter 4L80, and it's weird because it's a semi-float rear end. The new truck is a late 98, 99 with a 5.3 and a 4L60, which according to O'Reilly's computers never came in that truck, of course. So still trying to work through getting parts for that. But anyway, there's a little update on the first gen. As soon as I can figure out how to mount some cameras on this thing and figure out all that mess, I'll get some driving shots of the smoke and the EGTs. And I tell you what, I don't put that much weight behind it, considering some of these guys are, you know, pulling 35, 40,000 pounds behind these newer F-350s and stuff. I'm not doing that. I can tell you I've got about 8,500 behind the truck, and it doesn't know it's back there, even with a little bitty 308 rear end gear and a non-lock-up 3-speed automatic. So that's the business, boys. I did put some wax on the old Ford Ranger the other day. She's looking fresh. Boys, that is original paint from 1988. Single stage, no clear. Every time I wax it, I get more of the paint off. So, anyway, boys, that's gonna be it. Hopefully y'all enjoyed my little bush hogging adventure. There will be more to come. I've had quite a few setbacks in life here recently, and it's hindered me from going out to my property and doing some work. So that's gonna start picking up. I will be headed out to the property more, and it's getting more towards hunting season, so there's going to be some more coon hunting involved. Now I know Darren Kennedy and Finley River watch my stuff, and boys, I ain't had time to hunt. And like I said, it's I don't know what time it is, 6 o'clock at night, and it's still in the upper 90s. I can't run no dogs. Finley, I know you're down there in Texas, but 6 o'clock in the evening and it's still 98 degrees. Man, boy, I can't run no dogs. That'll kill me and the dogs. I gotta wait till we get about 50 degrees at night to do anything. My chunky ass will overheat. So, anyway, boys, that's gonna do it. Hope you learned something. If you didn't, that's on you. But for now, it's been Turtle Man. Y'all be easy.